Right now at noon, a partnership between two Southwest Missouri Fire Departments. How a special donation hopes to help keep the community a little bit safer.
And we're progressively going to start to see a few isolated showers and storms heading into the afternoon. More rain chances, though, rolling into the weekend. The latest in your forecast coming up.
Plus, the Trump administration continues its immigration crackdown with a new focus on international students.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, father and son are hospitalized and in critical condition following a crash in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Now, authorities say a 9-year-old boy and his 54-year-old father were injured when their ATV collided with a pickup on East 40 Road in Quapaw. The father was taken to a Joplin hospital. A medical helicopter took the 9-year-old to a Tulsa hospital. Authorities say the man's 19-year-old son was driving the truck that collided with the ATV. Well, Joplin first responders were called to a house fire yesterday evening. It happened around 5:30 p.m. on South Connor Avenue. When firefighters arrived, flames had already taken over the front of the home. Crews got to work quickly and had the fire under control by about 6:40. No one was hurt, and neighbors say the home was vacant at the time. The Joplin Fire Marshal is now investigating what caused the fire. Let's head over now to Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Now, we've got a pretty decent day so far. Temperatures warming up. The skies for now are still clear, but we are going to start to see showers and even a couple of thunderstorms roll into the area as the afternoon progresses. Of course, our camera downtown Pittsburgh, MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Skies are clear as well, but here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We have showers up stretching toward I-70, and then we have these ones out by Wichita, and right now the movement on anything that's developing is to the east. So we're going to continue to see isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, push east across the area as we head into the afternoon. And then heading into tomorrow morning, we have our severe risk. Now, some good news and bad news in a way. With the early morning or the mid-morning update, the hail risk position has not changed, but the wind risk has been expanded. It was just Greenwood, Elk, Chautauqua counties. That is not the case, and we'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. We started yesterday a bit below normal. Our highs also a bit below normal, but we are already above normal now for most of us. 70 in Joplin, 68 in Pittsburgh. We got upper 60s and getting into the low 70s, especially a little further south and west. Eventually mid 70s for our highs. We'll have those gusty south winds. Skies will be a mix of partly to mostly cloudy through the evening after we get through that first round of isolated showers, and our storm chances do begin to increase after midnight. And again, details on all that here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, it's not uncommon for the Webb City Fire Department and the Denaweg Volunteer Fire Department to help each other respond to emergencies. But now the departments are helping each other with equipment. On Monday night, the Webb City Council voted to allow the Webb City Fire Department to donate a brush truck to Denaweg. Now, the truck was not run for more than a year in Webb City, and the Denaweg Department will be able to use it to get parts to get their own brush truck working again.
We go to Carthage, we go to Webb City, we went to Joplin, we went everywhere. And we'll go back to Webb City and help them with this truck that we put together. So, it's just a great partnership.
The Denaweg Volunteer Fire Department has already picked up the brush truck and has their truck ready for the replacement parts to get it up and running again. Well, a big day for the Ronald McDonald House in Joplin. The family-focused charity got a helping hand from Freeman Auxiliary yesterday in the form of a $10,000 check. Now, for Ronald McDonald House, the donation means being able to better serve area families during some of life's most difficult moments. Now, for Freeman Auxiliary, the donation means giving necessary support to a charity that does so much good for the community.
It means both the financial support, but it's also a lot about the relationships. So Freeman Health System has been a founding partner since the house was originally built. And so for almost 30 years, those auxiliary members have been volunteering over at the hospital systems, in the gift shops, all throughout the hospital. And the funds that they raise help us do what we do here at the Ronald McDonald House. So it really is a celebration of both the donation and the relationship.
Now, the partnership between Ronald McDonald House and Freeman Auxiliary goes all the way back to 1995. Well, after a 20-year delay, Real ID enforcement is just around the corner. Starting May 7th, if you do not have one, you may not be able to fly on an airline. Now is the time to check your ID or driver's license for a gold or black star in the corner. Now, if it has one, that means you do have a Real ID. Now, these are designed to prevent fraud and identity theft, and officials say it's important to get yours as soon as possible.
This is for people that have travel maybe planned here in the near future. So this is what's the acceptable by TSA to get on domestic flights.
Now, to get it, you will need documents to prove your identity, lawful status, social security number, and proof of residency. Now, if you have a passport, you can use it to fly domestically instead. Just keep in mind those are more expensive. Well, a senator from Maryland is on his way to El Salvador in hopes of visiting the man mistakenly deported to that country and held in prison there. Now, yesterday, a federal judge said she's seen no evidence that the Trump administration is complying with a Supreme Court order on the case. Natalie Brand has the details.
This is about the rule of law. This is about due process.
Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland left for El Salvador this morning, where he hopes to speak to government officials about Kilmer Abrego Garcia, mistakenly deported last month.
We are not going to stop fighting for his return until he is actually released.
Administration attorneys say they would facilitate Abrego Garcia's return as the Supreme Court ordered, but maintain it's up to El Salvador to release him. And officials say if he is returned, he will face deportation again.
If somehow he comes back and that happens, he's going to be detained and removed again.
The administration continues to say Abrego Garcia is an MS-13 gang member based on allegations from a confidential informant. His attorney and family dispute it.
Our family is torn apart during this scary time, and our children miss their dad so much.
In a separate high-profile case, CBS News was there as federal agents took green card holder and Palestinian activist Mohsen Madawi into custody during a citizenship appointment. Attorneys for the Columbia University student told CBS News that federal agents cited a rarely used law allowing deportations if the Secretary of State decides someone poses adverse foreign policy consequences for the U.S.
I want people to know that my compassion extended beyond the Palestinian people. My compassion is also for the Jewish people and for the Israelis as well.
Madawi's attorney is petitioning for his release, saying he's being punished for protected speech. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
A federal judge in Vermont has ordered the administration not to deport him or move him out of the state pending review of the case. And coming up, experts share some nature safety tips as we slither into snake season. And later, we're making the ultimate coconut cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Snake season is underway in the 4 states, and the Missouri Department of Conservation says although snakes can be harmful, for the most part, they're helpful. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has more.
I met a local resident who says he loves snakes, but one snake got a little too close for comfort.
One had gotten in the garage and it had climbed up on the door frame. And when I opened the door, it fell and almost landed on me.
Terry Ross is a Baxter Springs resident who says he came face to face with an aggressive snake.
I actually killed it because it was poisonous, and then I carried it outside and threw it over the fence in the yard.
Luckily, Terry didn't get bitten by that snake, but according to Missouri conservationist Frank Skaleski says anyone bitten by any snake should report to the hospital with a photo of that snake.
The first thing they're going to ask you, was it venomous or non-venomous? If you have a picture of that snake, that'll help you show the doctor what type of snake bit you.
And although snakes can gross some people out, Skaleski says snakes can be very beneficial.
Let's think about an animal that is providing us benefits through its control of mice and rats, other small rodents.
And if you don't want those snakes lingering around, Skaleski says don't give it a reason to.
Get rid of those wood piles, get rid of those debris piles, seal those cracks in your deck.
Ross says even though he had a bad encounter with a snake, he says they still aren't that bad.
You know, if a copperhead or something's around, then I take notice. But no, I don't mind the snakes. I mean, they eat mice and stuff.
And hopefully those venomous snakes don't hurt our locals and vice versa. Reporting in Baxter Springs, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, according to the Missouri Department of Conservation, it's legal to kill a snake in Missouri. However, the exception is if a venomous snake is in a position where it could bite a person. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
A show-stopping dessert just in time for Easter. Not only is it easy, it'll put a smile on your face too.
And we're tracking thunderstorm chances as we head into the upcoming holiday weekend. Full look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So we've got, again, a pretty decent day lined up for us. Temperatures are already starting to go back above average. Plentiful sunshine for now, but eventually some isolated showers and storms begin working their way in as we head through the afternoon. One more look outside downtown Pittsburgh, and you can see that we're doing all right. The sky's still clear for the time being, but again, we'll start to see some clouds, as we showed you on the Skywatch Storm Tracker earlier, some thunderstorms out there. So here's a look at our risk levels over the next 3 days. Today, and again, this is really going to be for that overnight portion from midnight to about 5-6 a.m. We have that low risk across parts of the area. I feel a sneeze coming on. I apologize. If you haven't been with us this morning, allergies, something's bothering me. We have a low risk tomorrow, but that's going to be for another little round of storms that might clip our northern counties almost at the same time the other round is exiting. This one might develop and push through. Friday is our bigger concern where we have that elevated risk out there. So what are we looking at? Tornado risk for tonight, really, into tomorrow morning is very low. No areas highlighted. Hail risk hasn't really changed much. The wind risk now covers a broader area across southeastern Kansas than what it did initially over the last couple of updates. So future track into this afternoon, that's what I'm talking about. Whatever we see is going to be fairly isolated, so most of us won't really see much of anything, but some of us will get a brief shower, maybe a little rumble of thunder through the afternoon. That is going to be pretty simple, straightforward rain chances there. Tomorrow, here we are about 1 a.m. We're looking at this thunderstorm complex that's going to try and push through the area overnight tonight. Main part of it should be exiting our region by 5, but as the low circles back around real quick, we could get a few additional storms that skirt our northern counties early in the morning as well. And then after that, we go partly cloudy through Thursday afternoon. Winds pick up. They're going to start gusting out of the south upwards of 40, and that also causes our temperatures to soar. Really warm tomorrow into the low to mid 80s, and again, some of our western counties might even push near 90 degrees. Then we go into Friday. Friday starts off unusually mild, okay? Upper 60s, low 70s at 5 o'clock in the morning. Gusty winds continue. Clouds will increase pretty quickly. You see how temperatures kind of hold out for a moment? That's because that cloud cover. Now, what we got to watch, you saw those little spots, you see these spots here, is the possibility of prefrontal storm development across the area. If we get any storms ahead of the main front, they could carry their own severe risk. But as you can see, it's not looking impressive. It's showing up, but it's not looking impressive. There's still some questions on whether or not we'll get any kind of storm development ahead of the front. Then the front itself will start to work in a little bit later. So here we are at 8, and again, it's hinting that it's a possibility, which we'll need to watch, but it's not looking like a great possibility just yet. The front, on the other hand, as it starts to push in, will bring a line of strong to probably severe thunderstorms that'll roll through the area. So it looks also like we get kind of a first batch through very early Saturday morning. That's 3 a.m. And then we get a more impressive line that, comes in out of northeastern Oklahoma into southwest Missouri a little later in the morning. So closer to sunrise or a little after there. And you can see on the future track, this line looks a lot more impressive. So you've really got to be weather aware as we head into the holiday weekend, especially if you're heading out of town to do something. We could have these severe storms overnight Friday into early Saturday morning. Saturday, after that, we're looking at just general thunderstorms through the day. It'll be Sunday for Easter that we see another round of showers and storms out there. Some good news is these will eventually clear out. The bad news is early morning Easter egg hunts, things like that may not necessarily pan out. So if you have something planned in the morning, if you can't move it until later in the day, you might want to try and move it a little earlier. The severe risk for Saturday and Sunday, both this one is just barely clipping us, and by Sunday, it's just outside of our area, but it is still close enough that we do want to keep an eye, at least for the possibility of a couple of stronger storms with the activity through the day on Saturday and Sunday. So again, very warm tomorrow. Still warm on Friday, mid-60s on Saturday, about 60 for Easter, so a little bit cooler. Monday, of course, we're back to school and back to work, and it's going to be a pretty decent day. But then we get our next round of shower and thunderstorm chances that we'll want to keep an eye on. But our main story tonight's for this week is really going to be Friday night into Saturday morning. We want to keep a close eye.
Yes, we certainly do. All right, Chris, thanks. And stick around. We're making the ultimate coconut cake in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard's making the ultimate coconut cake in the Mr. Food Test kitchen.
With Easter just days away, we're sharing a show-stopping dessert that'll grab everyone's attention. It's a rich-tasting coconut cake that starts with a supermarket shortcut and ends with lots of oohs and ahs. In fact, it's so good, it'll have your guests asking for seconds. We start by combining a package of white cake mix with some coconut milk. Not cream of coconut, a bit of oil, and a few eggs. After the batter is smooth, we pour it into a couple of 8-inch cake pans. Then we bake these until the centers are set, which takes about a half an hour. While they bake and cool, we make a vanilla buttercream by beating together some butter, coconut milk, vanilla, and a good amount of powdered sugar. After the cakes cool, we top one of the layers with our buttercream, then place the second layer on top and frost the whole thing with the rest of the buttercream. To finish it off, we cover with coconut before decorating it. You can use jelly beans, bunnies, or whatever you have that's fun and festive. To get the recipe for our ultimate coconut cake, all you need to do is hop on our website. Imagine this as the centerpiece of your table. I'm Howard with Kelly, who loves the holidays. And today we found a very hoppy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find the recipe on KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, again, warm, breezy today. A couple isolated pop-up showers or storms out there. And we'll have thunderstorms tomorrow morning. A couple strong, low-grade severe storms will be possible. Much warmer and windier on Thursday. Windy, warm on Friday. And we're keeping an eye on that possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms late Friday into early Saturday.
Sure are. All right, Chris, thanks. Well, coming up tonight at 5, how your walking speed could influence your heart health and put you at a lower risk of heart abnormalities. Plus, election season still isn't over in Carterville, Missouri, as 2 city council races end in ties. We'll take a look at where things stand. And Spire Energy customers could soon see a hike in their monthly bill. We'll break down the company's new rate increase proposal. You can join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.